Hello everyone, my name is Tim Burgess and welcome to this podcast where we talk about things that are going on in the world and we have a discussion about them. Some of these topics are problems that we will come up with some possible solutions for. Welcome to A Dog's Talk. Hello everyone and welcome back. I am your host, Tim Burgess. This is episode 2 of A Dog's Talk. Today on the show, we will discuss more about the story behind the podcast, the COVID-19 vaccine, which is something that everyone, I'm sure, is tired of hearing about, but we're just going to discuss it. The movie In the Heights that I just recently watched on HBO Max, and much more. As always, I hope you enjoy the show. Anyway, let's get right into it. So, welcome to the second episode of A Dog's Talk. Now, if you didn't listen to the last episode, then please do so. The last episode just gives a good idea of what the podcast is about. And once again, I'm your host, Tim Burgess. As always, thank you again for joining me for another fantastic show. Now, I just want to do a huge shout out to Paul Werner. Paul composed the music that you heard at the beginning, the new music that you heard at the beginning of the podcast. The song is called Summer Voyage, and Paul has many other songs that you should go and check out. So check out Paul Werner at paulwernermusic.com, and I'll put that in the description of this podcast, but he's got many other fantastic songs just like that. Anyway, this show is structured as a normal podcast episode. The last one was a little bit weird. I was reading off a script the entire time. That was only because I just wanted to get, across what this show was about. It was also kind of just a test to see what I should do differently and then what I should do better. And I'm still going to continue learning from all these shows that I do to make this show even better. Unlike the first one, unlike the first show, which was only, I believe, 6 minutes. I think it was 6 minutes. I'm aiming for this one to be closer to 30. It might be a little shorter. It might be a little longer as I'm looking at the time thingy right now. There it is. As of right now, we're at 3 minutes. Let's go. Now, if you can hear the low hum of my air conditioner, I didn't want to turn it off for this recording because it is very hot right now where I live. I believe it's in the 90s, and it's also humid. So I'm not gonna sit here and record a 30-minute podcast in the blazing heat of my room. If I turn that off, it would get really hot in my room. So I'm not about to do that. So I put it on the lowest setting. I hope it doesn't get picked up a lot, but we'll see. This is a really good microphone, so we'll see. So. Just a little apology. I know it has been a little more than a week now. Actually, I think it's been 2 weeks now since I released my last episode. But it's for a good reason. I hope it won't happen again, but, I'm doing a lot of behind-the-scenes work on the show. And I have been working on more planning of the show and some more behind-the-scenes items of the show. But anyway, I'm back now and I'm ready to have a good show. All right, let me pull up my script here as this is too big. Where is it? I told you this is unedited, unedited, and this is what an unedited show sounds like, me pulling up stuff. All right. So, more about my dog, Maisie, which is the reason for this show. So, Maisie died in March. I believe it was March. It could have been April. It was a few months ago. She was 12 or 13. She was an English Springer Spaniel. She was my first ever dog. We got her when I was 7. Yeah, I think so. When I was 7, which was a long time ago. She had been struggling with for the past 2-3 years. She was blind because there was some cataract disorder. If there's any veterinarians out there, they'll probably know that many dogs get some sort of cataract disease, and it doesn't allow them to see. So that was very sad, but we didn't want to put her down just because of that. Like many other dogs, she had tumors that were growing on the outside of her, or on the outer part of her body. But we really didn't think those were of urgency and any reason to put her down. But the reason for why we put her down recently was because one of those little things on the outside of her busted open. Now, I was away at college. I didn't see any of this happen, but it did. So that was the main reason why we put her down. She was a fantastic dog. She loved people. She loved her family. She had a great life. And it was really sad to see her go, obviously, because this was my first dog. I always, it was always my worst nightmare that we would have to put her down one day, and unfortunately we did have to this past April or March. And out of I was originally going to name this something about my generation, the next gen or whatever, but after she died, I decided, why not just name it after her, or name it not after her, because the title's not Maisie something, but it's got her picture on it. The picture on the profile of this is her, an illustrated version of her, except she's more brown. In that picture, she looks more darker colored. She's more like lighter brown. Just the picture, I guess, looked more dark. But anyway, that's more about her. If you want to find out more, go ahead and email that business email, and you can find out more. I'll send you more information about her if you care. That was just the gist of her life. She was a great dog. Even if you want a picture of her, I'll just send you a picture of her. And I swear, if anyone goes to use her picture as something, it's not gonna be cool. But yeah, if you just want to see what she looked like, I'll send you a picture. Anyway. Let's get out of the sob stories and let's get into the fun stuff of the show. Now, this first segment is going to be kind of for people that play video games. So if you don't play video games, I'm sorry that the first part of the show is about video games, but I'm saving the better stuff for the end because I want people to stick around till the end, obviously. But the first part is I have on my handy agenda. It says talk about a game called Detroit Become Human. Now, I myself I'm not a huge video game player. When I have time, I like to play some. I just recently, I would say recently, I got the very hard to get PS5 digital version. I was very lucky, and I'm very thankful that I was able to get one on one of the releases. For those of you that don't know, it's very, very hard to get a PS5 right now, and the Xbox Series X. But I got one. I was one of the lucky ones to get one. And for those of you that are still trying to get one, keep going, keep trying, keep following those Twitter pages that tell you when they're being released, all that stuff. But yeah, so I got it, and then I was originally an Xbox player, but I switched over to PS5 because of that DualSense controller. It's a really nice controller. Very much an upgrade from the Xbox One, and then the graphics are way better than my Xbox One, obviously. So anyway, Detroit Become Human was a game that was free if you had PS Plus recently. I think it was last month. I don't know if it is this month. So I obviously downloaded it, and it's a first-person kind of role-play game. There's no online playing. You play as 3 characters, and you play as a story, and you're basically an android that goes around the city of Detroit, and you have 3 different lives that you play, and there are so many different outcomes that you can choose based on your response to like questions and stuff that are asked in the game. The graphics are very, very good. It is a very fun game to play. You know when it's a fun game to play when you get trapped in it for many hours and you are trying to just see what's happening next. It's like a good movie. When you're playing a video game, you just are trapped in it. You're trapped in the story, and you just want to keep playing. Now, obviously, I shut myself off after like 2 hours, maybe. 2 hours is probably the max that I play. Anything after than that is kind of excessive, and also I don't have time for more than 2 hours of that. But anyway, Detroit Become Human. At the end of it, I was like, I want to go back and play the other endings of this story, and then I will, of course. I just gotta find the time. But I definitely recommend that anyone who has an Xbox One, PS4, PS5, or the Xbox Series X or the Series S, I definitely recommend that you go ahead and get that game because it is a great game. If you are interested in the role-playing first person, there is no online to it, but you can purely play it for the story and for the effect of you being able to choose how each character ends the game. And there are many different endings to each person's story. Now, for every one of these reviews, I'm not going to go into too much, obviously, because I want you to go out and play it for yourself. I don't want to ruin it for anyone, but for this game, I definitely recommend you get this game because you will play it for hours, and then at the end, at the end of the story, there's nothing else. Like there's no free roam or anything like that, which I wish there was. That'd be awesome. But you can go back and replay any of the endings that you didn't do. You can go back and replay those, and that will probably take you like a week to finish all of them because there are so many different endings, and it's so fun. And I definitely recommend you get Detroit Become Human. All right, so the next thing I have on the agenda is current events, but I didn't look for any current events. That's what I'm going to talk about, the art of podcasting. I'm just going to move that into that spot. So normally I would have a current event, but I'll save that for the next episode, I believe, or I think, whenever that is. Oh, kind of a little announcement before I go into the art of podcasting, which I know nothing about yet, but I'm still just going to talk about podcasting in general, what I've learned so far. But before I go into that, I do want to say this podcast, I wanted to upload something every week. Now that clearly hasn't happened since the last episode. So I'm thinking about moving it either bi-weekly or tri-weekly. But anything longer than 3 weeks is not acceptable. Like if 4 weeks have passed, then something is not right, and I should really reconsider doing this podcast. If the voice crack happens like that, I'm sorry for you listeners. I am sorry. I don't know. Sometimes it just happens. I'm 19, almost 20, so I don't know why I'm still getting them. It's probably because my throat's dry, but it's whatever. But anyway, and also I breathe heavy sometimes too. I'm also this is all just warning you about, like, because you can hear it. I know you can. I'm probably on your car stereo right now, as my computer turns off. But I'm probably on your car stereo right now. And if I'm on your commute to work, and you work very early in the morning, such as if you have to get up at 4:30 and you're driving in for a 6 o'clock shift, I feel you, because that's when I start work here. I get up at 4:30 and I have to start at 6 a.m. and that is so fun, like very fun. But thank you for choosing my podcast to play over your stereo and for your morning commute. I hope it doesn't put you more to sleep. I hope it kind of wakes you up. But anyway, so I'm gonna experiment with some different like methods of uploading and see what I can do and stuff. But anyway, so the art of podcasting, huh? I really can't talk about that right now. What I'm going to talk about is what I've learned so far. So what I've learned so far is right now, this microphone that I'm using is called a Blue Yeti. It is a very nice, kind of low budget, beginning of podcasting microphone. It's USB. It's plugged into my computer. The program I'm using to record this is GarageBand, because obviously I'm on a budget right now. So what I've learned with this microphone is that you can hear every part of my breathing, and that you can also, if I get closer, it has a really nice gain and stuff. But if I stay this close, you can hear literally everything that's happening with my breathing. Like you can hear my inhale and my exhale. And then when I finish sentence with like a P, there we go. It's kind of loud and it goes up on the, I don't know what you call that, the noise spectrum. It goes up to red. So it's honestly kind of too good like that. That's what I was talking about. It's kind of too good, but I like it, and I should probably get one of those things that goes over the top of it to keep that out. But I don't have one of those right now, but I should probably invest in one of those. So that's what I've learned. I've learned that I got to sit further back. Now I hope that is fine for you listening. I hope you can hear me. What am I saying? I know you can hear me, but I just learned that is what has to happen. I have to be all the way back here, which is fine. A little annoying, but it's fine. I'm reading off a monitor right now, which is shining right in my face, but it's also like kind of at a weird angle from the microphone, so my face is kind of talking to it, so the microphone's kind of just picking up the side, what you can hear from the side, and then every once in a while I'll do this so that you can hear me really good. So I've learned all these different things that, the microphone has to be so and so or so far away from your face so you can't hear my breathing. I've learned that the earbuds that I currently have in right now, one of them, the right side, currently does not work. So that's not helping me with listening to my own voice. And also listening to my own voice, I don't like, but I would like to know when you can't hear me and what sounds good and stuff. But I'll get used to that part. So I'm learning to cope with all these different things, and the art of podcasting is actually kind of hard. You see all these professional people, or all these professional podcasters, and they sound amazing, but it's because they know how to, manipulate their body in sounding, good. And then they also have fantastic equipment that they have the funds for, and fantastic software to edit, which they also have the funds for. And most of them are not single man operations. Most of them, such as the Joe Rogan show, which is a very funny show, you should go listen to that. the Joe Rogan show definitely has people that edit, or he doesn't edit his show by himself. I edit my show by myself. And I have a great knowledge of GarageBand. That was sarcasm. GarageBand is not that fun to use. It's actually very hard to use. I like using iMovie way better. I was trying to be a vlogger one time, and then that was taking way too long to edit because that was actually really hard to edit. But iMovie is very easy to use, and I edited some of the intro on iMovie because I just knew how to use it better than GarageBand. GarageBand is very confusing, and honestly, I think it's just for if you want to record your voice and stuff. See, now I just moved the microphone so that when I look over to the screen that you can hear me better. I should have done that at the beginning. I apologize. But anyway, GarageBand is I'm thinking it's only for instrument recording, and then if you are a singer, then this is great for you because there's all these different tools that you can use to manipulate your voice or your instrument. It's not so much for just talking into. Now I know there's an Adobe program, but that costs money, and I'll see how successful this podcast gets. Then I'll invest in better equipment, obviously. Every day. So for my job, now this goes a little bit away from the art of podcasting, but that's okay because I'm actually almost at 30 minutes, actually. But we have a lot to get to, so this is going to be longer than 30 minutes. Probably going to be an hour. So I was actually just daydreaming of having a multi-trillion-dollar media company the other day, and this was going to be the start of it. I was kind of just bored at work because I walk for a lot of my job, a lot of my summer job. And so I was daydreaming that this was going to be the start of my media company, and I was going to release other podcasts, kind of like Barstool Sports. And, that might happen at some point if I become successful, which is not the main reason why. Further down the line, if this show does become more successful, I want to do more charity behind stuff. I want to do more donating to charity, doing different charities and stuff, and having like a podcast where one show is just all the funds go to one one organization for charity. That's my main thing. I'm not doing this just to become rich or anything. I'm doing this. I want to be able to do more stuff if this podcast becomes more successful. So the charity thing was one of the things I was thinking about. But I was just, I have a very good imagination, and so I was just thinking about starting a multi-trillion-dollar media company. This was going to be the start of it, and all that. And now I'm realizing I don't know if that's ever going to happen because I don't know how good of a podcaster I am. At least right now, I'm not that good. But maybe if I release more episodes, it's going to be much, much better. And I hope it is, and I hope people enjoy listening to me. And then if it does become more successful, I do want to do more stuff with the charity and stuff. But anyway, since we're almost at 30 minutes, I'm going to be like the news people, and the TV show people, and pretend someone's talking in my ear saying, oh, you got to move on. So I'm going to move on because my producer, aka me, is telling me to move on. Oh, and actually, that's the next thing that was on my agenda for today, was talking about the charity thing. So I'll talk a little bit more about that. As I said, during this show, if this show becomes more successful, I can get monetized for this, for every listener that either downloads it or listens to it on any of the platforms this is on. And I was thinking that one show a month, all those funds, and then if I get a sponsor for this show, and then any other sponsors that want to sponsor it, all those funds would go to a charity or a few different charities. I'm not sure yet. And at some point I said I wanted to have the listeners be a part of this show. So one of my other ideas was to also have a poll up for you, the listeners, to fill out on a website or something, or a Twitter or something, to have you decide where there goes my computer again, where the funds would go, like what organization the funds would go to. And that was like one of the fun things I thought we would do during the show. And I hope it gets to that point where I can do that, because I'm a big volunteer guy. I love helping others. And so that's what I want to do in the future, is have all the funds go to a charity. And I'm actually quite excited about that now, hearing myself say that, because that's going to be a very exciting thing to do in the future if I can. All right. Next segment, my producer's telling me to move on, so I'm going to move on. So this segment is something very important to me, or this segment is going to be a very important part of this show. I'm calling it Let's Talk. Now, today's subject, as you can tell from the intro and then the description and stuff, and I think I'm going to put it in the title too. This show is going to be mainly about, this part is going to be mainly about the COVID vaccine and young people. Now, any young person that's listening to me right now, if there is any, if it's all people that are in their 40s and over, that's completely fine. Maybe you can spread the message and have people listen to me. Young people, I am 19, almost 20. I myself have received the COVID vaccine. I got the Johnson & Johnson in not February, March maybe, April. I'm not sure. Maybe around when my dog died. I don't remember, but I got the J&J vaccine. I also had COVID at college. I had COVID before I got the shot. Before I got the shot, not after. Before. Having COVID was terrible. Okay, let me just tell you this from a frontline person who I'm not a frontline worker, but someone who had COVID. It was terrible. I had no energy to do anything. I could not focus on school, which was really bad. I was sleepy all the time. I did not have a fever, but I was congested. I lost my taste and smell, and I'm still working on getting that back. It's taken months to fully get it back, and I'm still not quite there. But let me tell you this, COVID is terrible. I had pain in my lungs. I had a cough. It was terrible. Now, I don't wish that on anyone, and for all the people that have died because of this pandemic, my heart goes out to you. My prayers go out to your families, because COVID is terrible to get. It's not a hoax. It's definitely not a hoax. It's real. It's out there. And there's a vaccine that will make sure you don't get it. The vaccine, if you get the J&J, it's the easiest thing ever. It's a one and done. You get one shot. You maybe are on your butt for a day or two, maybe. I was on my butt for about 2 days. It's all up to your body and how your body fights it, but it's not that bad. Now, if you get the Moderna or the Pfizer, it's the 2 shots, which is fine. But all in all, each shot helps you and protects you to not get this virus. Now, why not just get COVID, right? That's what some of you are probably asking, or some of you are saying. Some of you younger kids that think that, you're immune to everything, you're probably saying to yourself, oh, I can't get it. I'm not going to get it. Yeah? Well, let me tell you this. I thought that too. And then I went to college. A whole bunch of my friends got it. And then I got it. And I was thinking the exact same thing. It took me the end of my quarantine to test positive. Okay? I was quarantined twice in a row because My friend had it, and then I quarantined for 10 days. And then my roommate got it at the end of my 10 days, so I had to restart my quarantine. And then at the end of my 10-day quarantine, I tested positive. So, but like during that, I was thinking, wow, I'm immune. I'm definitely immune. But then I tested positive, and then I realized I'm not immune. No one is immune to this, right? Now, some people may have asymptomatic reaction to COVID, which, lucky you, to be honest. Lucky you, because COVID sucks. But you don't know if you're going to have an asymptomatic reaction to it or if you're going to be hospitalized. You don't know. So getting the vaccine is the best thing that you can do to protect yourself against getting this terrible disease. It's terrible. I can tell you that from experience. I'm not getting paid to say it's terrible. I'm not getting paid to say go get the shot. I'm telling you from experience, it is terrible. Now, the shot is so easy. It is so easy to get. You don't get charged anything. So it's free. Who doesn't love free stuff? Get the shot so we can move forward in our lives and don't have to worry about this anymore. Now, I want to go back to school, and I'm sure many others do. Many people who are vaccinated want to go back to school and not have to wear masks or get tested and then have restrictions or anything like that. I want to be normal again. But we're not going to be normal again, especially you young kids. We're not going to be normal again if you don't get the shot. So get the shot. It's not that hard. To be honest, that's in my mind, coming from me. So get the shot. It's not that hard. And like I said, it's free. Who doesn't love free stuff? Now, if you're afraid of the feelings after the shot, like your reaction to the shot and stuff, let me tell you this. You don't want COVID, because guess what? I still don't know the long-term results from having COVID. I could have asthma in a few years. It could be a leading cause of cancer in a few years, and that scares me. But for people that didn't have COVID and still won't get the shot, to be honest, just get the shot, because we don't know the long-term effects of it. Now, the people that have had, the young people and any other person that has had COVID and still doesn't want to get the shot, just get the shot so you don't get COVID again. Because at the end of your, 90 days you get immunity for, you're able to get it again. I've known people that have gotten it twice. Imagine the effects from that, getting it twice. So stop the spread of it and get the shot. Just get the shot. It's not that hard. Especially all you macho guys out there that think that you can't get it and that the shot's not good enough. You don't want the shot. Dude, you're going to get it at some point. Go to a bar or something with all unvaccinated people, you're going to get it. Because it spreads that easily and that quickly. And if you just get the shot, you don't have to worry about that anymore. You don't have to worry about it anymore. And you don't have to wear a mask or anything. Now, you probably don't wear a mask anyway. But just for real, that fear goes away for you of getting actual COVID. So just get the shot. Especially you young people. Now, for adults, you're probably not going to listen to me. But you should just get the shot anyway. Like, what's the big deal with not getting the shot? I don't get it. Just get the shot. It's not that hard. That's probably the most political I'm going to get on the show, but I'm saying that now, and I might get more political on it. But to be honest, this shouldn't be a political issue at all. It should just be a public health thing. Doesn't matter if you're Democrat, Republican, from another country. It doesn't matter. It's not a political thing. So just get the shot to protect you and your loved ones from the coronavirus, because it's terrible. The coronavirus is terrible to get. And you're probably not going to be asymptomatic if you do, because it's I don't know how rare it is. I'm not an expert on this, but it's pretty bad. I have not heard of many people that have gotten COVID and that don't have a reaction to it. So just get the shot. It's not that hard. Get the shot. Anyway, moving on. So that was exciting. I hope that changed some people's minds. If it didn't, just do some research about it. It's so important to get us back to normal. And that's what all these experts are trying to do. So yeah, just get the shot. That's my main message. Just get the shot. It's not that hard. And it's free. Who doesn't love free stuff? The next thing I would like to talk about on this show, and this has clearly gone over my 30-minute threshold, but my producer is now telling me to continue. So we're going to continue. I was going to talk about 2 movies today, but I think I'm only going to talk about one. I'll talk about the other one on the next show. But I'm going to talk about one movie today. Now, I'm not getting paid to talk about any of these movies. I'm just reviewing them. That's all I'm doing. I'm just reviewing them. But the one I watched about 2 weeks ago, I wrote all of this the week after I did the other show, thinking that I was going to do it. I was going to record this the week after that show, but I got busy. I got working on the show, and then here I am. I think 2 weeks later, recording this show, and now I'm talking about it now. In the Heights is a fantastic movie, and it's on HBO Max. It might be in theaters too. I'm not sure. Why don't I look that up right now so I don't look stupid or anything like that, or I don't get fined? It is in theaters. Yes, it's in theaters, but you can also get it if you have an HBO Max thing or subscription. But yeah, In the Heights. It's based off the play, which I believe Lin-Manuel Miranda helped create. He might have wrote it. All you Broadway geeks. I'm a Broadway geek, by the way, so I can say that. All you Broadway geeks, you can correct me if I think he helped write it. He might have written it, but I know he did music for it. But anyway, In the Heights is a movie. In the Heights is on HBO Max. It's also in theaters. I watched it on HBO Max. It is a fantastic movie based off the play. The movie is amazing. It's got so much dancing in it. It's got singing. It's got... Who doesn't love a good musical that's made into a movie? Like... well, Shrek started out as a movie. But Shrek was put into a musical, which was amazing, so it was kind of flipped the other way around. Anthony Ramos plays Usnavi. He's amazing in it. I saw him in his Broadway play with Lin-Manuel Miranda in it. Which for some reason I'm blanking on, because it's probably because I'm recording myself right now. But let's just press on his name and see what else he was in. Hamilton. He was in Hamilton on Broadway. He was very good in Hamilton on Broadway, but he's amazing as Usnavi in the Heights, the movie. It's a family movie. All right, it is a family movie. It is very good. It's PG-13, so just be aware of that. There's some swearing in it, but it is very, very good. I was left wanting more. It was very well filmed. The photography in it, or the videography in it, was amazing. The sets were built fantastically. The acting was amazing. It's got 95% on Rotten Tomatoes, that's actually a very good Rotten Tomatoes score. 7.5 out of 10 on IMDb. To be honest, I'm a little shocked about that. It should be about an 8. But anyway, the 95% on Rotten Tomatoes just tells you how good it is. It's made as of today, the 16th of July, at the box office, it's made $39 million, which, for COVID times is pretty good. because not everyone wants to go to a movie theater, so obviously that number's going to be low. But it's very good. I recommend you watch it. Sit your family down if you don't mind them. It's PG-13, like I said. So if you don't mind the PG-13 part, sit your family down, watch it. You're gonna get up and probably dance with all the actors. That's my view. You're probably gonna get up and dance with all of them because it's that energetic. It's that good. The story is fantastic. I can't remember much about the play, but I'm pretty sure it goes right along with the play. There might be some differences. But the story is great. It's got a mystery. I'm calling it a mystery in the beginning, but everything is revealed at the end. Go and watch it in the Heights on HBO Max and in theaters until I don't know when. I don't know how long it's going to be in theaters for. But it was released on June 10th, so it's probably not going to be in there for much longer. But it's going to be on HBO Max for a little longer, so make sure you go watch In the Heights with Anthony Ramos. And it has a cameo from someone in it, which you can easily go on IMDb and look who it is. But I'm not, for the sake of keeping the show magical is how I'm going to call it. I'm not going to say who it is, but it's fantastic. Go watch it if you haven't already. If you have watched it already, watch it again. If you've watched it a second time already, watch it a third time. And if you've watched it a third time, well, you should probably watch it a fourth time. After the fourth time, it might get a little old, but at least you can still sing along. At least you'll probably know all the songs. But yeah, definitely recommend you go watch In the Heights, HBO Max, or in theaters until I don't know when. But it's a very good movie. Next, as my producer says, some of you are probably going to be like, all right, I'm annoyed by this kid already. You know, that's all right. I'm sorry. I told you, first actual normal episode that I'm doing, testing it out, seeing what's working, what's not working. I'll go back and take notes on what is and what isn't. But as of right now, I'm recording myself, so everything I say is probably weird, but that's okay. This is all new to me. Okay. Yeah, I had a lot more to get to today, but this has already gone to 40 minutes and above. So I'm going to talk about one more thing. One more thing, and that's it. Music. I love listening to music, especially in the car. I'm not a big podcast guy in the car. I love listening to my car has Bluetooth, so I love hooking up my phone to the Bluetooth and listening to music, especially country music. Big country music guy. I do love hip hop and rap and pop, all that stuff, but I'm a big country guy. And the song I'm going to review today is called All on Me by Devin Dawson. I've been listening to this song now for weeks on repeat. It is amazing. It's got a story behind it. I definitely recommend you, however you listen to your music, Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora, check out All on Me by Devin Dawson. It is a fantastic song, and it's got a great, I always look for songs that have good melodies and then have a story behind it. Mostly the melody, though. If it has a good melody and it has a good sound to it, if it sounds good, I will always listen to it on repeat. I will always put it in one of my playlists to listen to. And that is what All on Me has by Devin Dawson. It is a great song, and it is one that you're going to listen to on repeat for many weeks like me. And you won't get tired of it, and you will know the words, and it is way more fun to sing along to a song when you know all the words. And then you can impress your friends, especially with rap songs if you know them by heart. You can play those songs with your friends in the car, and you can sing it with to them, and they will be wowed by you knowing every single word. And All on Me by Devin Dawson is one of those songs. So I had 3 more things to talk about today, but I think I'm going to save them to the next episode. as well as I'm going to talk about another movie that I recently watched, which was last week. I'm going to talk about that next episode. It is a fantastic movie that is called Black Widow by Marvel. I'm a huge Marvel person. I love Marvel. I also love sports movies. I'm also a big sports guy. So just to tell you this, I did watch the All-Star game, and the American League is clearly better than all the other leagues. And I'm hoping to have a podcast soon with one of my friends just purely about sports, but big Boston Red Sox fans. Sorry for any Yankees fans that are listening to me, but obviously Boston's better. Except I'm a big Giancarlo Stanton guy, so love him. Major respect for him, but everyone else is terrible on your team. Anyway, that could be a different debate for a different time. For now, I think I'm going to sign off, say thank you for listening to this episode of the podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you will join me for the next one, for the next episode, and then the next episode after that, and then more. I really do appreciate you all listening. And for those of you that listen to the end, thank you very much for listening to the end. Thank you for having interest in the show. Thank you for having interest in the story behind the show. And thank you for listening to my annoying voice. And I will catch you all on the next episode. Stay healthy, stay safe, and make sure you all have a fantastic week. Thank you. A huge thanks once again to Paul Werner for creating the amazing song at the beginning of the show. Make sure you check him and his music out at paulwerner.com. This episode was unsponsored. If you would like to sponsor a future episode, please contact the email that is in the description of each episode, and you will be sent the packages I offer. All rights for this podcast are reserved. The use of the audio is prohibited without permission.